A lot of y'all idealize being chosen, but chosen for what? Chosen to play a role into a man's life, because you are an extension of him. Because for you to exist in his world, you would have to minimize yourself, because the smaller you are, the bigger he is and the brighter he is, because he's the sun, he's the center of the universe, right? And you're just a silly little woman, you're just a silly little housewife, right? So when you get chosen by a man, what are you getting chosen for? Because that's also a trap, baby.
Got that look again.
Nights like this, I burn so bright I feel like a star.
You are a star.
No, Shadi. Not like a movie star. Anyone can be that. Me, I feel like the stars in the black of space. Magnificent, ancient, and already extinguished. Most of the girls never notice when I get like this. You know just where to look. You found that same thing yourself, haven't you?
Being here is only shining a light on that old dead feeling.
They don't call it the City of Lights for nothing.
Now that I'm tasting it, freedom, like I've never known before. I see what I was robbed of back there. All those years I thought I had everything I ever wanted, only to come here and discover that all I ever was the exact kind of Negro woman white folks wanted me to be. I feel like they just found a smart way to lynch me without me noticing the noose.
Don't it just make you angry?
Furious. Sometimes I want to kill white folks. And it's not just them. I hate me. I hate me for letting them make me feel small. And I hate
Who else do you hate? So, Miss Hippolyta, what are you gonna do with all that anger?
I am Hippolyta. I am Hippolyta. I am Hippolyta!
Hey y'all, so it is like 1 almost 2, and now I suddenly have a freaking spiritual download, and if I don't get it off my chest and I sleep it off, the momentum and the drive is going to go away, and then I'm going to kick myself in the ass for not doing the spiritual download. So here I go. I just watched Lovecraft. I'm late to all the shows. Like, understand that about me. I don't watch it until someone I like or trust recommends it. It falls into my lap and I'm like, oh shit, like this is actually good. Like, I watched Breaking Bad like 2 years after that shit ended, okay? I got into Love at the Lockup just late last year. And now I'm watching Lovecraft and everybody just already hopped off the hype. Like, I'm late to shows because I want to know if it's really that good or if it's hype. Don't ask me about House of Cards because I ain't never watched that bitch and I'm probably never going to watch it. I never watched Game of Thrones. I'm probably never going to watch that either. Like, there's certain shows I either have to be recommended them or I stumble upon them. But I don't go out my way to watch shit that I don't care for or if it's just hype. I don't even know if it's really good or if it's just hype. But season 1, episode 7, and if you watch my Instagram or you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I took specific clips out of that episode because that episode was so fucking real on so many levels, especially for Black women, that I want Black women to see that you are more than just Black, you are more than just woman, you are more than just whatever relationship you have with a man. You are the moon and the stars and back. The fact that your menstrual cycle is associated with the tides, that's associated with the gravitational pull of the moon, just speaks volumes to how much of a star that you are. Okay? So the reason why I want to make this special download is because the last clip is a third clip that I have on my Instagram page, BlackWomanVibes. That clip when Hippolyta, which I think is such a beautiful name, Hippolyta, because it's not a name that you hear often, but Hippolyta, right? She was telling to her husband, because her husband passed away, and she was talking about like how she figured out this like theory about astrophysics and things of that nature. And I really, really feel bad that I did not have these experiences as a child. Like, I wasn't the most mathematically inclined. I wasn't the most scientifically inclined. I'm more of an artsy fartsy type of person, right? But I wish I would have had those experiences just so I would know. I am one of those people, ever since I was a kid, I like knowing things just for the fuck of knowing them. Why? I don't know, but I like knowing random strange ass facts just to know them. And I wish I would have known more about space, and I wish I would have known more about planets, and that part of me would have been more opened. I know more about astrology now, and I do tarot and spirituality, but I would love to have been on a Hippolyta type of energy or a D, her daughter type of energy. But nonetheless, we all have time to, cultivate ourselves regardless. The part where she was talking to her husband, George, and she was like, I've always had goals and dreams of myself. And I accepted the role of minimizing myself so you can shine, so you can pursue your dreams in astrology and pursue this fast-paced career. I settled for being a wife. I settled for being a mother. And oftentimes when you left, I felt maybe I was sad, maybe I was confused, maybe I had some type of feelings about it. But now I know exactly what it was. I was pissed. I was angry. I allowed myself to be minimized. I shrunk myself just to be with you. I allowed you to live your career. I allowed you to go on the road. I allowed you to put me in the house, to birth your kids, to be your personal servant. And I didn't expand in my horizons. I didn't expand when it came to science, especially when it comes to outer space. She named a star, a solar system or a star. And she was like, I never allowed myself to be my authentic self. I allowed white people to tell me that I was inferior, and I allowed you to put me in my place as a quote unquote woman.
So is this real then? If you're on another planet Earth, am I still here right now?
I don't know what exactly it all means. But God, it feels real. That's what matters.
After all your adventures, everything you saw, you still named yourself my wife. What's wrong?
I think now I can name this thing that's been eating at me quietly, so quiet. Sometimes I thought I was tired, sad, or missing you when you were out on the road, but really I was angry. So angry, because for so much of my life, I've been shrinking. When I was a kid, I thought I was big enough to have every right to name something out of this world, and then I just started shrinking myself. By the time I met you, I'd already gotten so small. And I thought you knew how big I wanted to be. I thought you saw me, but you just stood by and let me shrink myself more for you.
Why did you tell me you felt this way?
I tried. So many times I tried. You had to see that.
Maybe I did, but I fell in love with you because you were so curious. I knew deep down inside there was a discoverer in you. You're right. I let you, help you shrink so we could have a family, so I could go and do what I had to do and know that you were safe at home waiting for me. I'm so sorry. I see now what that cost you. I see you now, Hippolyta Freeman. And I want you to be as big as you can be.
I am Hippolyta. Discoverer.
I'm not real, I'm just like you. You don't exist in this society. If you did, your people wouldn't be seeking equal rights. You're not real. If you were, you'd have some status among the nations of the world. So we're both myths. I do not come to you as a reality. I come to you as the myth. Because that's what black people are. Myth.
I got curious.
Now that you've named yourself, we can fully integrate you into our society. You no longer need the devices on your wrists.
Right? That status shit. Y'all religious people do this. God, man, woman, child. And truth be told, when you're a woman, you're definitely treated as a child. You're treated as a subordinate. You're treated as someone who's not conscious or smart enough, basically, developed enough, leadership qualities enough to guide your own life and to make your own decisions. So when she was talking about that and telling her true feelings to her husband in this alternative universe type of thing, because her husband's dead, but in this alternative universe, her and her husband are back together and they're back to a familiar state of being. So it's like, again, alternative universes. And her husband was like, I'm so sorry that happened. Like, I didn't know. And she was like, she gave them the look, the black woman look, like, nigga, you know. And then he was like, I guess I aided in making you small and I never really saw you. And then he was like, I see you now, Hippolyta Freeman. And she was like, no, I'm Hippolyta pioneer. It was in French. There was French subtitles. But in English, it was I'm Hippolyta Discoverer, meaning I define myself. I name myself. I am. The episode is actually called I Am. Season 1, episode 7, I Am. And she was saying, I create my own destiny, that I am smart enough to go on my own adventures. I'm smart enough and I'm willing enough and I'm capable enough to have my ideas appreciated, to have my own theories, to be able to break certain grounds in astrology, in outer space. I don't need the validation of a man. I don't need the validation of white people. I just need to validate myself. And I've been having this nagging feeling of making this video, but y'all know I be consumed with a lot of things. I do daily tarot readings on my Instagram page, BlackWomanVibes, so check that out and watch those daily tarot readings because they be pretty accurate. Shameless flex. As well as I do other content like Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, and I'm very thorough with them. The episodes usually be like 40 minutes on TV. When I dissect that shit, especially if we get into the shadow, we get into childhood baggages, we get into these people's mental health issues, I really dissect that shit down. And it takes time. I mean, I do the edits all by myself. I do the synchronicity. I do all the jazz that you see in the video all by myself, and it takes time. It takes hours to get done, but I enjoy it because that's my passion. That's what I want to do in this life, to help people recognize their shadow, reconcile whatever they need to reconcile, integrate the parts of their shadow that needs to be integrated and the other part discarded, but to really break those generational cycles and really confront yourself, right? Why are you a breeder? Why are you so attached to penis? Why don't you invest in self? Why are you the last person to give the love that you give everybody else? So we really get into that, right? And there's a particular topic that I want to get into, which is men trap women with babies. I forgot what specific phrase I was going to call it, but probably by the time I edit it, I probably will use it as the title. And I say this because oftentimes we hear the narrative of women trap men with babies, women are trying to get over on men, you know, that quote unquote child support hustle. And I know the type of men who say shit like the child support hustle are broke, bottom, bitch made Tyrones. Why? The same thing that they do with the whole, oh, black women kick the black man out for welfare. The same type of shit. If a white man told you that, you would have heard welfare queen. When the niggas tell you that, you hear pro-blackness. I don't know why y'all allow men to fool you and play you like a dummy. But anyways, I know they're bottom shelf because government assistance is the bare minimum. They don't even give you your basic needs. They give you less than your basic needs. So if you was really taking care of house, then why would your woman leave a fully functional, fully healthy, and prosperous home just so she can be miserly, just so she can penny pinch, just so she can be a penny with a hole in it, hopeless? Why would she go that route if she has everything that she needs? Like, why would you go from a queen to a page? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's literally hustling backwards. Oh, it must be that you never had it to begin with. Got it. Just like you niggas ain't in the household today. Got it. Okay. The same thing applies with the whole trapping thing. Men will trap women with babies because they know if they give you a baby, they can always come back to you, right? And you bitches allow it. That's why y'all are breeders. You'll allow it. When they go out and they fool la la, and the last bitch don't want them, and they overstay their welcome at mama's house, and their homeboys won't let them stay in the house playing video games and eating up their food like the Tyrone that they are, what do? Baby boy comes back home to you and presents you this image of, we're gonna be together, we're gonna have a great family, we're gonna try hard this time, I want to be with you. Why? Because all his other options have been depleted for the moment. So he's trying to re-up off of your dumbass back and your dumbass pussy so he can go back in the streets and do the same two stupid nigga shit while you crying and bawling your eyes out like Chevelle from Love After Lockup after a nigga who ain't worth a damn, i.e. Quaylon. You see the same game plan with your mamas, your aunties, your cousins, your sisters, but you jump right aboard to go down the same stupid ass train, the same stupid ass direction, because you love your own misery. You love that shit. You are addicted to that. You have an acquired taste for misery and struggle, and it shows. It shows. Even when you get the Birkin bags, you're still out here in domestic violence relationships. You're still out here with a low self-esteem. You're still out here in three-party relationships trying to cut his tires and cut the bitch. When in actuality, you should cut the relationship. But you're too codependent and too trauma bonding to do that, right? Because any dick is better than no dick, right? And they know. And that's why y'all play the same stupid game, have the same prototype of man in different men, and can't understand why you get the same type of men in different men. Water meets its level. What you radiate out is what you get in return. Everything's reciprocal. Everything is 360, right? What goes around comes around. That's the energy you put out there, so that's the energy you're going to receive. But anyways, on the flip side, even when you do get chosen to be a wife, what does that mean? As Hippolyta showed, yes, she got chosen, and yeah, it was a better deal. Her husband's very emotionally intelligent, very much of a provider, very much of a husband, a father. He's a quote-unquote ideal black unicorn. And still, Hippolyta wasn't happy because she wasn't her authentic self, because she had to minimize herself for her husband, right? As y'all religious people do. God, which is another male, husband, which is a male, woman, which is like a defective male. That's how men see women. Let's be honest. That's how they see women. That's why they always think if women were in power, the whole world would blow up because women are too emotional. But who's the most rapist? Who are the most murderers? Who are the most violent of any crime in general, especially violent crime? Men. When men get mad, oh, someone's feeling to die. When men get mad, oh, women are feeling to be raped. But it's us who are overly emotional. When they get emotional, they get violent. When we get emotional, we cry. But let them tell it, it's us who's defective. But we're the XX and they're the XY. And that Y is a defective ass chromosome. It really means nothing. That's why all the important genes, basically all the genes, come from the mother. Your intellect and everything that makes you comes from the mother, the XX. That Y is defective. It literally is smaller than the X, as well as it doesn't function. It's a succubus. It literally leeches off the X chromosome, that Y, as well as it's broken. It's literally a broken X. We don't need to get into it, but I'm just telling you so you know, especially y'all who are penis envious and y'all have that whole dick hungry, dick thirsty, dick chasing phallus obsession. Just know that biologically you are more superior just by having a vagina. But we don't really got to go there. The point is, because y'all know I go off topic all the goddamn time. The point is, a lot of y'all idealize being chosen. But chosen for what? Chosen to play a role into a man's life. Because you are an extension of him. Because for you to exist in his world, you would have to minimize yourself. Because the smaller you are, the bigger he is and the brighter he is. Because he's the sun. He's the center of the universe, right? And you're just a silly little woman. You're just a silly little housewife, right? So when you get chosen by a man, what are you getting chosen for? Because that's also a trap, baby. Having his kid is a trap. Getting married to him is a trap. Because again, your existence is how small you can be for him. He likes you when you play your role. He likes you when you minimize yourself. He likes you when you chase his validation. But he does not care to give you that authority, to give you that space for you to expand. He doesn't see you as a person who has their own purpose, their own drive, their own desires, their own thoughts, their own ambitions, because again, you're just a woman, a silly little housewife, a silly little woman, just a freak whole thought. Who cares about your thought? Thought, right? But that's the trade-off of being chosen, right? Whether it's chosen to be a baby mama, whether it's chosen to be a glory hole, ain't that right, wet ass pussy? Or chosen to be a wife, right? What do you got to give up to fit those roles? Because again, if you get too big for your bridges, he gets very, very insecure. And we already know when men get insecure, women get dead. Femicide goes up. Look at Blackistan. The lesser he is in the pecking order, the closer he is to the bottom, the more violent he is, the more sociopathic he is. the more ruthless he is. As Hippolyta's husband, George, said, he liked her and he pursued her because of her curiosity of outer space. But the same thing these men love you for is the same thing they use to restrict you, to mock you, to belittle you, to restrict you, and to even discard you, right? Look at it from a Blackistani point of view. You all types of wet ass pussies, bad bitches, ass fat, when he's fucking you. But when he no longer wants to fuck you, or he wants to cause a 3-party relationship, then you're all types of whores, all types of thoughts, all types of I don't love these bitches. Reference Future and his ilk, right? The same thing that he praises you for and puts you on a pedestal for is the same thing he will use to knock you down a few notches. And George was the ideal unicorn, right? So imagine what the lesser tier does. Imagine what the closer to the bottom, if not the bottom, does. Because men in general get very violent and very rapey when they're mad. Especially when they're mad. But they're like that all the time. They're like sociopaths, right? It's the woman who's supposed to tame the beast, right? Beauty and the Beast, you're supposed to tame the beast. Because he doesn't have any empathy within. He has to learn it like a sociopath. But the closer he is to the bottom, the closer he is to doing the most vicious of things. Check out the rape stats globally, the femicide stats globally, especially in poor countries like South Africa and South America. But yeah, men tend to get very violent when their egos are bruised or when they are at the bottom of the pecking order. And the same thing that they tell you that you are the bee's knees for is the same thing that they will use to chastise you, restrict you, restrain you, because he needs you to be underneath him so he can feel like a man. And most men, even the high value men, have the same warped mentality. Ask Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. And the gag is, without women, society would literally stop and die. But let the men tell it, it is them who make society grand. But it is our wombs that literally produces the society that we live in. Lay gag. Check it out now. Read the statistics yourself, not just the United States, globally. And I know there's going to be a mammy who says, well, rich people murder, rich people rape. You're right. People are just evil. Like, what's your point? But the gag is, the closer you are to the top, the more refined you are, as well as the more ability you have to see your shadow, to see your reflection, and to self-improve, because you literally have the means to do so. But the closer you are to the bottom, miserly you are, the more hand-to-mouth you are, and the more resentful you become, the more angry you become. And as you see with the pecking order, God, man, woman, child, the woman never elevates, right? The child, if a boy, will become a man, and he will be able to usurp the mother into a higher pecking order. But the daughter, she just stays at the lower position. She may re-up into the mother position, but that's still a lower position, right? In Roman society, you'd be considered a commoner, a thing, a pawn. Didn't I tell you as a black woman, you're not a person, you're a thing, you're a pawn. You're useful for somebody else's usage. And once you're done, you're discarded. Because you're not a real person, you're a thing, you're a pawn, right? That's why you're face down, ass up. That's the only purpose you have, because you're not a person. You're a thing. You are a noun. Not even a pronoun. Because a pronoun would have a name. You're just a noun. You're a person, place, or thing. So when you get chosen as a wife, you still lose something. You lose yourself. You lose your essence, right? That's why when you're a housewife, your husband just sees you as a convenient slave, as a convenient maid, as a convenient cook. You're just his slave with a ring, right? And if you are a working woman, you're still a slave. Now you're doing twice the job. You're bringing half the rent and you're the slave. But his life doesn't change one iota. He still goes out. He still kicks back with the brewskis, with the bros. He still lives his best life, even better, because he lives longer than single men. On top of that, he has his personal sex object, his personal maid, his personal cook, his personal breeder. He has it made. He has it made off of your back.
Hey, maid. I see you got on your maid outfit like you always do. I don't blame you.
Maid
you got it clean.
outfit. I have on a t-shirt.
You got it clean.
That's what.
Ain't that what you clean with? You need to buy her a fur like you bought me one.
Why should I bother getting up when I know now he is a great warrior and I cannot win? Well, I will tell you why you're here and why you must get up. You are here because you did not believe them. Your whole life they told you you were free. And when they said that they meant you were free to cook their food, free to raise children, their children, free to work for them, they even lied to you and told you you were free to run the world. But it is still their world. You are here because you knew that all they offer was the freedom that a well-kept slave could ever ask for. Now I cannot tell you what true freedom is. You have got to find that for yourself. But today, you are still too afraid to go looking. But I now we will strip that fear away one blow at a time. Now get the fuck up!
We are here because we did not believe them when they told us our rage was not ladylike. We did not believe them
when they said our violence goes too far. We did not believe them when they said the hatred that we feel for our enemies is not godlike. They say that to women like us because they know what happens when we are free. Free to hate when we must. Free to kill when we must. Free to bring destruction when we must. That is our freedom. That is our prayer. No matter what they think of us after we grind them into the dust. That is our Damn Hippolyta. George's wife.
And you're told you got it made too. Because you got chosen, you got the ring. But you age faster. You get silenced faster. You don't meet your goals. You are here to serve the man and the children. You don't put yourself first. You lose yourself in your roles. And ultimately, just like the cool girl in Gone Girl, that's one of my favorite movies. You know these psychotic white bitches, I can't stand them hoes, but I love them in the movies because they show what women should be on, especially black women.
Then Nick will die too. Nick and Amy will be gone, but then we never really existed. Nick loved a girl I was pretending to be. Cool girl. Men always use that, don't they, as their defining compliment. She's a cool girl. Cool girl is hot. Cool girl is game. Cool girl is fun. Cool girl never gets angry at her man. She only smiles in a chagrin-loving manner and then presents her mouth for fucking. She likes what he likes, so evidently, he's a vinyl hipster who loves fetish manga. If he likes girls gone wild, she's a mall babe who talks football and endures buffalo wings at Hooters. When I met Nick Dunn, I knew he wanted cool girl. And for him, I'll admit, I was willing to try. I wax stripped my pussy raw. I drank canned beer watching Adam Sandler movies. I ate cold pizza and remained a size 2. I blew him, semi-regularly. I lived in the moment. I was fucking game. I can't say I didn't enjoy some of it. Nick teased out in me things I didn't know existed. A lightness, a humor, an ease. But I made him smarter, sharper. I inspired him to rise to my level. I forged the man of my dreams. We were happy pretending to be other people. We were the happiest couple we knew. And what's the point of being together if you're not the happiest? But Nick got lazy. He became someone I did not agree to marry. He actually expected me to love him unconditionally. Then he dragged me, penniless, to the navel of this great country and found himself a newer, younger, bouncier, cool girl. You think I'd let him destroy me and end up happier than ever? No fucking way. He doesn't get to win.
As you can see, my video will not be AdSense approved. So if you would like to show your gratitude via donation, you can always hit me up either on Cash App, $BlackWomanVibes, or Venmo, BlackWomanVibes, woman with an A, not an E, because it's only me, she, her, we. Now back to your regular scheduled broadcast, and I hope you enjoy. Right? She said she minimized herself as well. She did everything she could for the male gaze, and he still fucked her over literally. Got a younger, perkier, dumber, blonder version of her. After she done sacrificed herself, minimized herself, depleted herself, just so the sun can shine bright. And what does she get? Literally a fuck you. Right?
closed my mouth more. Tried to be softer, prettier, less awake. Fasted for 60 days. Wore white. Abstained from mirrors. Abstained from sex. Slowly did not speak another word. In that time, my hair I grew past my ankles. I slept on a mat on a floor. I swallowed a sword. I levitated. Went to the basement, confessed my sins and was baptized in a river. Got on my knees and said amen and said I mean. I whipped my own back and asked for dominion at your feet. I threw myself into a volcano. I drank the blood and drank the wine. I sat alone and begged and bent at the waist for God. I crossed myself and thought I saw the devil. I grew thick in skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book, but still inside me, coiled deep, was the need to know. Are you cheating on me? Are you cheating on me?
Everybody wants to get chosen, right? So men trapping women with babies, right? It anchors you. It ties your feet. You don't get to explore the way you want to explore. You don't get to go and do the things that you want to do, especially the mother. Because when these men are absentee fathers, yeah, these kids are unadjusted. And yes, they have abandonment issues. And yes, they have all these obstacles and drama and traumas and shit. But it's the woman who holds the burden. If you go out and you pursue your career, whether good, bad, or indifferent, there's always going to be a snot-nosed little motherfucker who's going to tell you, well, they felt some type of way because you didn't bake them cookies. And they felt some type of way because you didn't tuck them in at night. And they felt some type of way because you didn't show up to their performance. And it's like, yeah, very, very real, very, very plausible. But I was a woman before I was your mother. I had my own life before you said mama. I had my own dreams. I had my own desire. I had my own thoughts. I had my own purpose before I even thought of you. And now I have to lose myself to give you expansion, to give you guidance, to give you development, to give you nurturing skills. But what about me? Does my life end because your life started? And as women, oftentimes we find that is the actual reality. Children do tie your feet. Children do minimize you, right? Especially single mothers. That's why you're neurotic as fuck. You think you can do the single mother thing until you realize, no, you can't. So you hop dick to dick, humiliating yourself for dick to dick, just so you can be wifed up and seen properly in society, as well as you can have someone to help you with the burden of raising that child, right? Men trap women with babies so they can occupy the women's time, because children do occupy your time. They burden you, they anchor you, while he gets to live a second life, a life of unrestricted magician-like energy, right? He created his wife, he created his child, but now he has a personal maid, personal servant, personal chef, personal sex object, personal breeder, everything that he wants. He gets to live longer than his counterparts who are single, and he still gets to live his life uninterrupted. When he wants to play Father Dearest, he's there. He might go to a soccer game or two. He might run with the kids in the field. He might cook maybe once a month, if that. He's the fun dad. He's the fun parent. But it's you. You're mean. Oh, Mom, where's my shoes? Mom, where's my schedule? Mom. But Dad? Oh, Dad has it good. Dad has it easy. But it's you who has to sacrifice. your whole entire authenticity, your identity, just so you can be chosen. Because who doesn't want to be chosen? But what do you have to give up to be fucking chosen? And as a woman, oftentimes, we have to lose ourselves. We have to descend. We have to restrict. We have to be quiet, like children, seen but not heard. Because you're just a woman, a silly little housewife. You're not Hippolyta Discoverer. You're Hippolyta Freeman. And as a black woman, you're not free to be angry. You're not free to speak your mind. You're not free to cultivate and to be a pioneer in your own destiny. As a black woman with the double minority status of struggle, you're a woman, so you're inferior by nature, according to man's law. And you're black, you're inferior by racial hierarchy. So the only position that you can play is the second fiddle, is the Robin to somebody else's Batman, is the support system, is the mule, is the struggle instructor. But is that what the divine has in store for you? Is that truly your destiny? And as Hippolyta found out, no, she is more than just a wife. She's more than just a mother. And she's just more than just a writer for somebody else's story, somebody else's narration. She is her own person. She is her own destiny. And she is her own love. She is her own soulmate, first and foremost. And I think that is the download. I thought it was going to go longer. You know me, I could talk and talk and talk and talk for days. But don't let these men mind fuck you out of your own superiority. Don't let these men mind fuck you out of your own greatness. I'm not saying don't have children, and I'm not saying don't get married. What I am saying is clearly outline what the fuck you get out this motherfucking deal. Because being his wife ain't good enough. And having his kids is the bottom. Especially for you single mothers, you know. The struggle's real. You know. What do you get out of it? Do you get to narrate? Do you get to navigate? Do you get to be in the captain's seat? Or are you just the rib to his Adam? Isn't it time for black women to live? And live well? Be the best version of yourself by mastering yourself. And a part of mastering yourself is creating your true authenticity. Who in the fuck are you? Outside of societal expectations, outside of your education, outside of whatever the fuck is your last name, outside of whatever the fuck you sit on or push out of your vagina. Who in the fuck are you? And why are you here? We'll probably discuss this further on Patreon. And if you haven't joined my Patreon, definitely do so. There's 2 tiers. They're both the same price, $20. Less than Pampers. Less than the cost of getting a divorce. Less than spending a lifetime of regret. Less than minimizing yourself for the sun. $20 a month. There's 2 tiers. There's Women Healed Sunflower Premium. It is a healer soul tribe. And we discuss these type of topics. True women empowerment, not just my pussy grabs back, my body, my choice. No, it's your true authenticity. Who in the fuck are you? In your authenticity. Not trauma bonding, not codependency, not phallus obsession, not vulnerable narcissism. When your chakras are aligned, when you do that ancestral healing, when you remove the childhood baggage and the childhood traumas, who are you underneath all of that shit that anchors you? Who are you if you were able to maneuver and be free? Like no gravity, no restrictions, like outer space. Who are you without all of that baggage and trauma Who are you? And the other tier is a general tier without the goddess aspect. So we don't really talk about the feminine principle. It's more so dealing with those generational traumas. Again, finding your authenticity, realigning your chakras, and finding a support system. No trauma bonding, because I'm very, very like warning. I don't do no trauma bonding. We don't do no codependency. We are here to do our individual work, healing work, internal work, shadow work, and we do it in a group setting. However, outside the group, the expectation is you still doing that shadow work. Because we're not holding anybody's hand and we're not cuddling anybody on either group, in either tier. But nonetheless, as a woman, black, white, Martian, or whatever, who in the fuck are you? And why are you here?
Isn't it time for Black women to live and live well? Be the best version of yourself by mastering yourself. And a part of mastering yourself is being your own discoverer, is defining who you are, not just how you look, but your brains, your wisdom, your character, your tenacity, and naming you, living in your authenticity without all the drama, trauma, without the phallus obsession, without white males or white women's status quo. Who are you and what are you here for? Not as a breeder, not as a mammy, not as whatever trope that keeps us stagnant and minimized, living in somebody else's gaze, somebody else's narration. Who are you? And why haven't you become her? On Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, we do a live question and answer tarot segment. Spiritual Hour, spelled Spirit, regular way that you spell spiritual. Hour, EYE-OUR. Submit y'all's questions, dilemmas, inquiries, whatever. And we will use the shadow side. We will use the spirit guides. We will use tarot, and we will get your answer answered via not only those who participate by watching, but also via the divine. The divine has answers for everything because the divine is infinite. So if you want to participate in submitting your question, definitely email me at blackwomanvibes@gmail.com. BlackWomanVibes@gmail.com. Please make your submissions a paragraph long, meat and potatoes, so we can dissect the answer accurately, ask the spirits, the spiritual guides, and get your question resolved. Also make note that this is a condensed reading. This is not a full reading. This is just a question. If you would like a full reading, a private full reading, that will never be available on Spiritual Hour, just private, client to professional. You can also email me. We can coordinate. We can make it happen. Every full tarot reading comes with a life path number. A life path number basically tells you who you are, what you're going to experience, the obstacles that you need to conquer, and a bit about your personality. So definitely email me, DM me if you would like a full reading. I also have a podcast, Black Woman Vibes. You can find it on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Deezer, Podbeam, and a whole host of other platforms that stream podcasts. Black Woman Vibes is currently on season 2, and we're taking a quick hiatus. There possibly might be a season 3. We're not sure, but we have 2 seasons, 25 episodes each, 50 episodes in totality. And we talked about a variety of topics that pertain to the Black woman's experience. We talked about domestic violence. We talked about sexual assault. We talked about healing. We talked about the archetypes, the mammyism, the education, the hood rat, and so on and so forth in season 1, just to get an introductory of who and what Black Woman Vibes is about, as well as give insight to the topics that we may not know that affect us, and those that we know for a Fendi fact that affect us. Season 2 was basically holding a mirror to Black women's faces like, girl, we out here tripping. We're allowing men to call us dog-faced bitches. We're allowing men to suck our legacy while they move on to a white woman. We talked about how not to ride the wave of your friend's toxic relationship. Some women just like being in a toxic relationship. They like crying. They like panicking. They like sharing pain because they're dick hungry, dick thirsty, dick chasing, as well as they are, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to say so damaged or defective or anything like that, but their brains have been rewired to look at pain and trauma and gaslighting and manipulation as not necessarily good, but normal. And you coming into the picture like, nah, ma, this ain't it. She's more likely to make you an ops than the man who's been whooping her ass for the last umpteenth years. Isn't that right, Emily B? We also talked about My Body, My Choice, where we examined the whole Deja Harris T.I. saying that he does virginity checks on her, hymen checks. And we talked about why the psychology exists, as well as why Deja needs to create boundaries with her father and, if possible, separate herself from her father, because not only is it misogynistic for him to even think that he could do that, but also it's very damaging to a young, flourishing Black woman's mental health to have her father literally pry open her legs to see what's going on in there without her consent, as well as it creates a negative viewpoint of her body negativity, I guess you could call it, where she feels her value comes from her vagina. And if she ever chooses to do whatever with her vagina, if it isn't under the guise of marriage and what T.I. prefers, who has multiple baby mamas and who can't keep his penis in his pants even as a married man, she will take on the projection and the misogyny of her father, internalized misogyny. So we talked about that. And you could, again, catch the podcast on multiple podcast platforms, including my website, beesme.com. Please sign up for the mailing list. It is the first box when you enter the website. On the website, there's blogs that pertain to the Black woman's experience, blogs about our life circumstances, our decisions, our out of wedlock rate, our need to chase the male gaze, and so on and so forth, as well as positive things about, Black women in sisterhood, Black women in entrepreneurship. So definitely check out the blog. And there's a dedicated podcast page there. It's updated and you can stream as much as you want. Like, share, comment about the podcast episode. I appreciate it. And I think I'm done with all my shameless plugs.
With all that being said, be blessed. Be enlightened, be loved. I am out. Peace.
As another thing, yeah, I didn't forget that either. I'm a whole troll. I'm a hood book. I'm a whole hood booger ass troll ass bitch. I'm gonna make that a thing now. As another thing.